Hi, I'm Deirdre Virvo, here for another show of Let's Talk Seniors, memory care issues, Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. Join us Monday through Thursdays at 5 p.m. right here, Eastern Standard Time. Today we have a fabulous special guest who I love and adore. His name is Emmanuel Guarino. He is going to talk, he's the head of the real estate division for Residential Assisted Living Academy based out of Arizona. And Residential Assisted Living Academy is a #1 resource for senior care homes, or as we call them here, residential assisted living homes. Their motto is to do good and do well, and that's exactly what he does. Emmanuel and his team also had a National Association of Residential Senior Care Homes, helping people find solutions to tough questions facing seniors and housing issues today. I want to welcome him. This is Emmanuel Guarino. And Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us here at Let's Talk Seniors.
Love it. Glad to be here, Deirdre.
I'm glad you are. So we are live, and and I am very happy that you're here. And Emmanuel and I know each other, just full disclosure, because I've been running a real estate investment association and bring in guest speakers that are experts in their field from around the country. And Emmanuel came last year to our Southern Connecticut area, and he spoke on residential assisted living facilities. Honestly, before he came, I thought he was going to be talking about the big box stores like Atria, which are beautiful and gorgeous, which have, hundreds of people at them, which I had zero interest in. But that was not what he was talking on. He was talking about residential assisted living, or care homes, as he calls them, which I never heard of, which are just seniors living in a regular home, like ranch style, 1-floor home all together as a family. And I love the idea so much that even as an investor, I was like, I need to open one of these ASAP. So bought one in Shelton, and it's opening up in a few weeks. So I want to thank you for the inspiration and for teaching me all about it. I had no idea. And what I'm finding here in Connecticut, I know you're in Arizona, nice and hot there, but in Connecticut, nobody knows about these. Yep. So tell us a little bit about how you got into it. I know you have a whole family affair going on there. Who's involved, how everybody got into it, and exactly what you do, Emmanuel, besides being a fabulous guy.
Well, I appreciate that. With what we do, residential assisted living, when we first got into this, when I first got started, I was taking medications from a pharmacy to assisted living facilities. An assisted living facility is usually 100 beds, 200 beds, 300 beds, where there's a lot of people living there who need assisted living care. And I remember going into this facility, and I was looking for someone who worked there for about 15 to 20 minutes, and I couldn't find anyone, and it was just like, wow, this is bad. And I remember leaving that facility, and I looked over to my right, and on my right, there were, it's kind of like a rec room, TV room, and there was one small TV. There were 2 people in there. One was facing a wall this way, one was facing a corner over there. Neither of them were facing the TV, and I had realized that no one had come in to check on these residents in hours, and it was just heartbreaking. And I remember going to my car just crying, and I just started praying. And I was just praying that, if there's something better that we could do, then let it be done, God. And, we had thought about, starting an assisted living home, a residential assisted living home, many, many years ago. But it wasn't until my grandmother, who lived in upstate New York, she started to become, in need of assisted living, that we said, you know what, we got to do this now. Because when people go out and they look at what's available, the question is, well, why don't people want to move into a home, or a facility, with 300 beds? And the big reason is because the caregiver to resident ratio is very, very low. In a residential assisted living home, which we'll talk about here in a second, it might be 1 to 5, 1 to 6 caregivers to residents. In a large facility, it might be 1 to 10, 1 to 15, 1 to 20 even sometimes. And so what we do provides a much better caregiver to resident ratio, and also it's a home instead of a big facility. The next thing that always comes up, though, is people say, well, why doesn't everyone, when they need assisted living, why don't they just move in their own home, have someone move into that home with them, take care? And the going rate to have a company have someone come out to your home and take care of you is about $22 to $25 on average across the country. So when you're doing that math, full-time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, plus your expenses of the house, the food, the electricity, about anywhere from 15 to 25,000 most of the time. And you're living by yourself, with just that one option. So there's that socialization factor that's into play. So with what we do, how we got into this, we got here in Arizona and we said there's got to be a way and there were these residential assisted living homes. So instead of a facility, it's just a single family home, might be 5, 10, 15 people living in one of those homes, and 2 to 3 caregivers watching over those residents, helping them out with their activities of daily living, cooking and cleaning for those residents. And we said, well, this is what we want to do. And so we started, asking people, can you show us how to do this? How do we do it? And no one wanted to share that information with us. So we actually had to figure it out on our own. And that's how we got started teaching on this, because once we had done our first home and we had learned our lessons, people said, what are you doing? This is cool. And we said, you know what? There's a lot of people who want to do this. This is an amazing thing. That's why we got into it, was our own grandmother needed these services. And we said, you know what? Let's start teaching on this. And so we started teaching and teaching up into the point where it is today, where we're the #1 educators in the country on assisted living. And that's what we do. We show people how to get started in this industry from A to Z: marketing, staffing, licensing, where to do the homes, where not to do the homes, and then the finances of it as well. So that's what we're here for, is that resource. And as well, we also own homes here in Arizona as well.
And I've actually seen some of your homes. They're gorgeous. And what I love about Arizona, which we don't have here, is you can walk in and walk out the same level, like one flat marble across the floor. Like, we have a lot of steps here, garages, basements, so we have to kind of reconfigure. We don't have true ranches like you do.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of reconfiguring needed. But talk a little bit about the safety issue and with the COVID pandemic going on now, like what's been happening.
Yeah, with everything going on, these smaller homes have been getting a lot of, positive press, because in these larger facilities, that's where you're seeing a lot of those outbreaks happen. Because when you're in a place with 300, 500 people, you have a lot higher probability of, getting infected. And so with our homes, since they're much, much smaller, it's almost like they're being quarantined before quarantine, right? It's a lot smaller environment, a lot safer environment. So instead of tons and tons of people coming from the outside, it might only be a couple of caregivers, versus a large facility where lots of families or other caregivers or different people are coming in from the outside. The probability of you getting infected is much, much higher. So it's a lot safer being in these smaller environments. And again, it just shows a big reason why we need more of these homes. We need more exposure for these homes. We need more people knowing about this, because it's a much, much better option. And for people who have seen those larger facilities, they can understand that, this is not the right way to do this. We need these residential style homes, because it's much more affordable and it's a much better quality of life that they can have while they're in these homes.
Yeah, we've had a disastrous amount of people, seniors, sick here from the coronavirus. I think a few days ago, it was more than 6,000 people in nursing homes. Connecticut alone tested positive with the virus, and we've had 1,224 nursing home deaths. And in the residential assisted livings, we've had 0 deaths. Zero.
Yeah.
One reason is you can act faster. You have shutdown. You only have a few people. You don't have all the staff coming in and out. You could really limit your staff and do the testing. So I think we're going to see the need for it, because anything could happen. Another virus can come. Something else can come that's spreading and contagious. And people don't want to be where it's so huge and so vast and so everybody's getting so sick. And another sad thing to me is, in these nursing homes, being there it's so prevalent, the virus, is now the seniors who had terrible socialization before are now like sequestered to their own rooms for 14 days. They can't see their family. They can't see anybody. Now they're stuck in a room, confused, don't know what's happening. It's worse. like it's really sad. People are going to be dying of depression. I mean, it's just like really, it's really bad. So I love the home idea, the whole safety, but isn't also a fact that I know you have a lot of statistics about falls, like people fall less and live longer.
Yeah, what's great about these homes is when you're in a large facility, and it just makes common sense, if there's one person watching over 20, or even in some circumstances at night, it's 1 to 50, we've heard. In our homes, it's 1 to 10, 1 to 12 at night. Theirs might be 1 to 50. And so if someone has a fall, if something's happening, you hear those horror stories about people not being attended to for days in these larger facilities just because there's not enough staff to get around. And really, the people who own these giant facilities are, hedge funds, and they don't live in the state. They live, across the country or things like that. It's an investment to them. It's not personal to them. They don't really care about those people inside, which can be really, really tough. But, when there's those falls in our homes, what's nice about it is when someone needs to get up from their, chair or something like that, they don't try to get up on their own. And they say, hey, I need some help, because the caregiver is right there. It's that family type environment, like we were talking about, before we jumped on, is these homes, if you have a 1 to 5 caregiver to resident ratio, this isn't a stranger that you're talking to. This person's first, last, middle name, their background, their story, and, it's a family. It's a family type environment instead of just, a group of people all there together, more like an apartment complex than anything. So it's a family type environment, these smaller homes, which is just a beautiful thing.
So nice. And your whole family is involved.
Yes, our whole family. My father is the head of the company. My sister is one of my bosses. One of my other sisters handles the finances. Me and my wife work together, and I work with a couple of my brother-in-laws and uncles, as well as everyone else in the company who they're pretty much family as well. And so we are very, very blessed.
I'm happy your wife's not your boss.
Well, she is. But anyway.
I think she is. But no, you have a very loving, beautiful family. I just think it's a
Thank
good
you.
family. You also started what I love, the Residential Assisted Living Academy National Association, RELNA, right?
Yep.
And I went to a trade show last year. I hope you're going to have it this year. Do you think you'll have it in October?
We are going to have it. Yep. It's going to be in October. So we are going to have that. And Arizona's starting to open up again. So we are going to be having that. And, as you're talking about the national convention where we were going over the National Association, the convention that we have each year is it's going to be about 800 to 900 people there this year. And these are care homeowners, people getting into the industry. And this is a great place for industry updates, for networking, to meet people who are in the industry or getting into the industry. And so it's really a place you need to be if you're in this industry or getting into it. But the National Association is all about connecting our care homeowners from across the country, because there's local chapters in each state, but there's not a nationwide association connecting us all. And the reason why that's important is, first off, for legal reasons. When someone is saying, hey, I want to start a home, but my state doesn't understand or my city doesn't understand it, being able to have that legal power for them to be able to show them this is what it is. All you need to do is plug in these rules, put it into play, and run with it that way, versus the state having to figure it out and come up with everything. That can be very daunting for them. So we kind of take the guesswork out for them in that way. And then also group buying power, being able to do things like that, commercials, the awareness. There's so many great things about being together from that standpoint. And so that's why we started the National Association, and we're working on that every day. It keeps just getting better and better and better, but it's just been awesome. It's been awesome having you a part of it as well.
Listen, I loved it last year. I learned so much about different methods and things to do with seniors and ways to help them in all sorts of ways, and technology for seniors and things to do for dementia care. And there's so much to do with the seniors, and new things coming out all the time that I didn't know about. And I loved it. I also loved meeting different owners of homes to get ideas from them around the country, because everybody's doing different neat ideas. One of your people I remember was doing, they had like a butler, a concierge service.
Yes.
And one of the caretakers dressed up in a full he had a British accent, a full English butler outfit. And he would serve the tea and push them around, push people in wheelchairs and all like a butler. And it was so cool. I love that idea. It was adorable.
Yeah.
But also it's been helpful, especially for me, and I'll shout out for the RAL Academy, because if anybody's interested in going, they could definitely call me and talk to me about it. or call you at the number on the screen. We don't have the zoning laws for these in Connecticut. And everybody I talk to at the zoning board loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, feels a need for it. But we don't have the laws here. It's not a thing. They're not against it, but it's not a thing. So they don't know how to, fit it into their zoning and what to do with it. And I was talking to a zoning board person today, and he said to me, we love it. We got to do something with you, but we can't make it a thing because it's not a business, it's a residence. So one of the things with the Residential Assisted Living Academy is you have attorneys there that really talk about the Fair Housing Act. And part of the Fair Housing Act says that people are allowed to live anywhere, and especially people with a disability, which seniors with dementia and all would be considered a person with a disability. And they're allowed to live together as a family and be considered not a business. Of course, they need help paying bills and organizing things, but they're still just a residence. So they totally understood this at the zoning board, but they didn't know what to do with it still. So not that they're against it, you just have to educate, and they have to try to figure out what to do with it. My brother has Down syndrome, and he lives in New York in a group home, again, in a beautiful, $1 million neighborhood in a ranch house with 6 people, same idea. And it's not a business. This is a residence, but of course they need somebody paying all their bills and feeding them and driving them, but that doesn't make it a business. It's still they're just 6 residents in a home. And that's what, I explain to people here, and they get it. But still they don't have the laws like we do. And all the other states are so much ahead of us.
Right.
So,
and that's a big thing too, is as time goes on and states and cities start realizing, wow, we need more places, high quality assisted living for these residents of our state to be living in, because not everyone can afford those big box facilities or living on their own. They realize we need a better option. We need it now. They're going to have to start getting everything together. So some states have already gone through that process, and they have hundreds of homes or thousands of homes. And then there's other states that are saying, hey, we're still trying to figure it out. And that comes back to that national association of just that power of being together, having that legal help. And so that's why we recommend anyone who's in the industry or getting into it, join, because, together we're much stronger than we are alone.
It's super expensive. So my girlfriend, her father took ill real fast. I mean, he was only 82, healthy, owned an accounting firm in Long Island and doing great. And then boom, went just emergency downhill. She had no idea what his resources were, where his money was, what to do, because he had his own practice and he was doing fine. And so, some people go in gradually, and some people are like an emergency case. They break a hip or something happens, a stroke, and they can no longer function. And then the family's scrambling as to so this was her case. What do we do? Where is his money? How much are these things? Where do we put them? And she actually sent him to live in Vermont by her sister because everything was less expensive there. And then eventually moved him back down to New York, where his family and friends were that he wanted to be in. But in Vermont, the care started at $7,000 a month. In Westchester, he's now up to $19,000 a month. And he's in these hotel type places that's very highly rated. But wow, he's in a 600 square foot room, which he doesn't need because he can't walk, and in a closed door with nobody that can see him because, privacy, they don't have a camera in your room. But it's like leaving a baby there. It's like I have a 3-year-old granddaughter. I feel like it was leaving her in the room locked up, nobody could see her. Who knows if he's choking? We were visiting him and he started gagging and gagging for half an hour. We were there. And I'm like, we can't leave. And we were crying leaving because he was fine. But what if we weren't there? Nobody was seeing him. And just to eat, he has to go out into a hall, go down the hall to an elevator, go downstairs, be in a big cafeteria. And if he eats the wrong thing, he's choking.
Right.
So I'm like, he needs way more. And this is a top place. And the people are very loving there. But he needs way more one-on-one, care. And there's, to pay for one-on-one person to sit in his room with him on top of $19,000 a month is crazy. So I love the whole residential care home concept, and, you know, like pay one price no matter what's going on, have people with you all day long, watching you, looking at you, caring for you, just like a mom and dad in a house. It's like a mom and dad with, you know, a bunch of older kids. And that's how I liken it. And it's just like a nice, loving family that everybody's enjoying and playing and eating and, you know, exercising together and dancing and doing things together and puzzles. And, you know, it's just such a nice, loving, I love it environment. So I'm hoping that we can make a lot more of them in Connecticut, because they really need it, and all over.
I agree. There is a big need, and you're doing a great job.
But there are a lot of them. There's what, like 47,000 of them across the nation?
Yeah, there are a lot of them, and that's the big thing is, you know, I was saying is, you know, whether it's today or tomorrow, they're coming. You know, we need great, high-quality assisted living, and, you know, it's really hard keeping up with the demand. So we need great places, because when someone's alone like that, you know, it really is. It's kind of almost like a child, leaving them alone in that room. You know, you just can't do that. You know, we need better places, better options. And so these states and these cities, you know, really need to get everything together, because it's coming, and we really, really need this.
So if somebody wanted to get into this, and if somebody wanted to open their own home, whether it's in Connecticut or any other state, where should they turn, Emmanuel? What should they do? What kind of things do you have to offer?
Yeah, you know, that's what we're here for. You know, we're the premier educators on how to do this, you know, from A to Z: marketing, staffing, licensing, where to do the homes, how to run the business. And we do online courses and live courses. And really, we're there to take out the guesswork. We're there to save time, effort, and money as you're going through this process. And if it's something that you're serious about, if you have the heart for it, you know, that's the first thing. You have to have the heart for this, to be, you know, in this for the right reasons. If you're just in this for the money, exactly. You know, you have to be in it for the right reason. You know, money is a big part of it. You know, Robert Kiyosaki, one of the lead real estate educators in the country, you know, he said that's his number one thing he says to invest in is assisted livings, because there is such a need for it. The money side is there, but really it's all about doing good, which is helping people first, and then doing well. The money will come after that. So if you do that in that right order, you know, you're going to do great. It's just bringing that value, helping enough people, and you can do very well financially. Oh,
it's all about helping the seniors, because let me tell you, I own apartments, and they are so easy compared to residential assisted living. There's so much involved. And it's all about loving the seniors and the people that work there, and loving them and the caretakers, and making sure you get the right caretakers and bringing the right people. And there's so much more involved, that if you just want an investment, just go buy an apartment building, because it's very easy to rent to tenants that you don't talk to, but, you know, once or twice a year, if, you know, they have a leak. So this is totally different, totally different. It's an investment of the heart. It's not just an investment. So you have to be prepared for that. Absolutely. This is a whole different thing.
Yes.
But
good.
Your family has a bunch of them.
Yes, we have 6 homes here in Arizona, and, you know, always looking to, you know, keep expanding. That's what's great about it is, you know, the way that we teach on it, you know, we're not personally in the homes being the caregivers. We teach a more hands-off type approach at the Residential Assisted Living Academy. And so if that's something that, you know, someone is interested in, you know, give us a call. I think we have the number out there on the screen. You know, give us a call. Let us know what we can do to help. We'd love to just set up a call. You know, even if you're just interested, send you over some videos on it, and you can really find out if that's right for you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. You've been an inspiration to me, and you're the reason I started the home in Shelton here. And I will be at the Academy at the National Convention in October, and hope to see you then. And say hello to your entire family. And thank you so much again. Much appreciated.
I will. Great seeing you. Thank you.
Hi, Deirdre here again. Thank you for joining me on Let's Talk Seniors Memory Care Issues. Is this an issue hitting home? Do you have a parent or loved one with memory care issues who you feel is not safe at home anymore? Are isolation, falls, and safety issues becoming a big concern? Welcome to Dogwood Senior Home, premier boutique residential senior living specializing in memory care. It's country living at its best in the Huntington section of Shelton, Connecticut. We're truly a home with only 6 senior residents living as one family unit. Senior residential homes are concepts sweeping the nation with 47,000 across the U.S. We're pleased to open Dogwood Senior Home as it will be only number 6 for Connecticut. Brand new, sparkling clean, opening mid-June. And safe, safe, safe. We are COVID-free. Residential care homes boast a very low COVID infection rate across the nation. This is due to the intimacy of size and speed in which the caretakers can shift to accommodate immediate needs. They are much safer than the large homes and facilities, as you can imagine. It has been documented that residents have less falls and a better quality of life in a residential home environment. Our home is more affordable than the big box facility. You pay one all-inclusive price, and that price is guaranteed for the life of the resident. With an incredible 1-to-3 caregiver ratio, which you won't find anywhere else. Our friendly, loving caregivers are dedicated and trained in Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson issues. We're only taking 6 residents, so the home will fill up fast. Call me at 203-689-7562 for a talk and tour. I would love to meet you and your loved one. See you soon. Bye.